Alright, hello. So I did Yvonne. I did the owner of Patagonia, Yvonne Chouinard. So while I'm giving this, I like the person watching this and reviewing this to look at like how much I say and like. I say them a lot, so just watch out for that. Um, and the other things I would say are how my theme is and like if I have a clear overall theme and if it's like stays constant throughout. And the other thing I would say are my transitions. So all right, I'll start. So in a world where people and businessmen care so much about money, profits, maximizing their revenue, it's rare to find people nowadays that are really in it for their passion, really in it for what they believe in and what they care about. But we can look no further to find a person than Yvon Chouinard, the owner of Patagonia. Ever since Yvon was 14, he's been climbing. He's been adventuring the world and has never looked back. He's been with a love for the outdoors. Yvon put his passion by making pitons. For those of you that don't know what a piton is, it is a metal spike used to drive into a stem or crack on a mountain, which can act as an anchor to protect the climber from falling. Now, in the off season, Yvon, or when he wasn't climbing, he would make these by hand in his house with homemade materials. And when he wasn't, he would be doing his passion. He would be climbing mountains in the outdoors, just exploring, always doing something that he loved. So Yvon's pitons, what turned from just a hobby turned into an actual business as demand grew for these pitons, and he began making a lot of money. And he eventually began manufacturing them in large quantities with machines instead of making them homemade. So Yvon's pitons became so popular that he ended up creating his own company called Chouinard Equipment, where he was creating equipment safe. Where his the goal was to create safe, smarter, and stronger equipment for climbers that want to like explore, that want to climb, just like Yvon has been doing all his life. So after a few years of doing this and making effective products for climbers, his company was really successful, and it was actually the number one company selling tools for climbers in the U.S. So that was huge. But a huge stop came to Yvon's success when he learned that the pitons he was creating, which were his biggest seller, weren't benefiting the environment. They were really only benefiting the climbers, and they were causing issues with the mountains, um, and the things that and the natural objects that people were climbing in nature. So what Yvon did was, instead of being a greedy businessman like other people would do and just keep making the products because he's making such a big profit, it's number one seller, Yvon stuck to his core theme of why he even started creating um, climbing tools, which was to better the environment and better the climber both, not just one, not hurt the environment. So what Yvon actually did was he stopped making pitons and he wanted to focus his company somewhere else. So what he did was he created Patagonia, kind of like redid his company, and they started focusing more on clothing that was effective for climbers and good for the environment. So Patagonia started off making very good clothing. It was very effective for the climbers. But again, he ran into a huge hurdle for himself when he learned that the cotton that was going into all of these clothing products were actually rubbing off into nature, and that was really bad for the environment. And Yvon, being so dedicated to why he actually got in, being so dedicated to his love for the environment and nature, um, switched to making all his products with organic cotton. And he did this even though that it would raise his manufacturing costs by a hefty amount. But he, as I've mentioned many times, and why I think he is the most admired businessman, he didn't care about profits. All he didn't care about money. He was really in it for his passion for helping nature and helping the environment. So basically, with that, Patagonia took off from there. People loved the message. People loved the clothes. It was high quality. It was good for the environment. And by Yvon staying true to himself, people noticed that, and people just wanted to get involved. And Patagonia just grew and grew and grew. And right now, it's a huge company. Yvon's turned into a billionaire. In an article Yvonne was talking about how he cares a lot about giving back to the environment, as I mentioned, and he talks about how since 1986, Patagonia has been donating 10% of its yearly profits to companies and agencies that want to protect and help preserve the environment. So Yvonne talks about how Patagonia is very invested in helping solve global warming, helping solve pollution, helping solve deforestation, all the things threatening our world today. And he's also very connected to his employees, which I think is another reason why he's the most admired person. He's so involved, he's so passionate about nature that he'll give his employees a break, regardless of what time it is, if they want to go hiking, if they want to do anything regarding nature that they love and that there's passion. So overall, Yvonne Charnard in my eyes is definitely the most admired business person in my life, and should be in yours too. And in the business world, because of how true he stays to his passion, how true he stays to his word, and in a world where people can get so caught up in greed, can get so caught up in money, Yvonne really never let that get to him. He always stayed true to himself, always stayed true to why he even got into the climbing and the nature tool business and the clothing business, and he really never wavered from it. And he really showed what kind of man he is and how true he stayed to himself and how true he stayed to his passion. So Yvon Chouinard is definitely the most admired business person in my life and should be in yours. All right. So that was just a rough run through. I know it can be a lot better, but I'm interested to see what you have to say. So thanks, and leave any feedback you can.